Hey, good morning, everyone. You just told me about an hour ago. I just rushed over from Joe's crib to my crib, and if you're seeing all yeah, we know we got. Obviously, you tell I got a daughter in the house. But anyway, I'm here. This is the new podcast. This is the bodybuilding podcast, the Lounge. I'm here, of course, with the John himself. I'm here with my good buddy, longtime friend John Loudon. I haven't seen him since the Good Burger days, so that goes
Long
tell you how
time.
long time. That's that movie. The mid '90s movie. So that's how long me and John known each other. So that's been a long time. And of course, my man Eric Richardson. I've known him for quite some years now. Great good buddy of mine. Last time I had him on, he was going. He was not too happy with Chip Kelly being the head coach. So that goes to tell you how long me and him known each other. So, guys, I want to talk about this because I've been thinking about this pod for a little while, and I've seen you guys, and you guys are in great shape. Me and Joe, we're in shape, but we're circle. So you guys here are in phenomenal shape. So let me ask you guys, what got you into bodybuilding? John, I'll start with you. What got you into wanting to lift weights here?
The main thing was, my father from back in the day. He used to be
Yes.
really into fitness and like very energetic and things like that. And I played sports like when I was younger, wrestling, football, basketball, and like you always had to lift weights to stay in shape and everything. But it was always a team sport, and like me as a person, like I like to always like rely on myself. So
Mm-hmm.
like it was very hard to like want to drive for something, and then like other people, like I tried to lift up, but like lifting is like a one-on-one sport,
Right.
and like basically like I'm basically going against myself. I'm going against like my yesterday and like trying to push myself to be better, and like it's just something that like it feeds that mental happiness. There's endorphins, and just like being healthy and be able to be mobile is like the best thing in the world. Like I see other people, and I'm like, I wish I could give what I have and the enjoyment I get from being so active and just like taking care of my body and being healthy.
Right, right. So, and I remember you and I talking about too long ago. You really strived during the pandemic. For most people, that which people weren't doing that. Most people were just sitting around eating all the time. With a lot of guys working from home and all that stuff, or they
Mm-hmm.
couldn't get home. So a lot of guys went to um, eat the wrong foods, and all they did was pack on weight, and that's all they did. But and like I said, I noticed but you stride in a positive way where you want to hit the gym and start pumping iron, which is good because like a lot of cats, unless you were being an athlete, you weren't doing that. Like I said, but you took it in the right way. So and Eric, I'll ask you too. So what got you into bodybuilding? I see your posts all the time. You're doing bodybuilding. You're doing stuff down AC. Bodybuilding competitions. What got you into working out?
So for me, it was after I stopped playing football. I kind of needed something to do with like a creative outlet, athletic outlet.
Mm-hmm.
And just like John was saying, it's bodybuilding is cool because you're not relying on a team or a coach or anybody else. It's all on you. It's all on
Mm-hmm.
you to learn your body, to learn the different, dieting and lifting, and when you're on stage is it's your work that you're presenting and nobody else's. So um, I actually found a bodybuilder online. His name was Ronnie Coleman. He's one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time,
Mm-hmm.
and it just captivated me. So that started my journey about 13 years ago to um, learn about myself and body and how to build muscle and how to diet and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, okay, and same. Where I mean, like, was there someone big in the working out, like maybe like an Arnold? Was there someone big that you looked up to, and like, man, I want to look like that. I want to be present like that. Like, man, this guy's, he's got a great physique. Like, I want to look like that. You know what I mean? I want to.
Yeah, it was Ronnie Coleman. That's the
Okay.
guy who I was watching on YouTube. Now at the time I didn't realize the thing about the steroids and all that, so I thought like, okay, I can eat some chicken, work out a little bit, and I'm gonna look
Yeah.
like this. I'm gonna take the supplements that he took. But even still, it's still, you're still working on yourself. You can still build a pretty good physique without the drugs.
Yeah, yeah, and you definitely can because, like I said before, I got married and all that stuff, and I was a pro wrestler, and that's all I wanted, to do, and that's all I did
Hmm.
was eat, sleep, breathe weights, and I went from in 05, I went from being 250 to 185, and King Kong Bundy was my King Kong Bundy was my wrestling teacher and was my trainer, and he said, if you guys want to look like wrestlers, if you want to be a wrestler here, you got to start looking like wrestlers. And I did, and to me, again, when you have a stride, like you guys were just talking, it's all on you to discipline your brain. You know, as much as I can have this guy, whoever, tell me what to do, it's all got to be in my heart wanting to do it. So this way, when and all I did was run. I used a day like this, a 90-degree day. I would run every day in the heat, just constantly. Run 2 miles. Then at home, get home quickly. I would do push-ups, sit-ups, and did whatever I had to do. Then, then I started to weight lift, and I just transfer my body into that. So I understand where you guys are coming from as far as wanting to get yourselves in shape and do those other things. So like I said, for you guys, what is the key? So I always tell people, go back to your dieting, right? What's your main focusing on your dieting? So where would you tell like a guy like me and Joe, now, like we're in our we're in our mid age here. We want to, get in shape here. We want to eat right, but if we drive by Wendy's, hey, the first thing in your mind is, hey, look, let me go grab that juicy bacon cheeseburger before anything. You know what I mean? So how could you, transfer? I guess where do you start first with dieting? Where would you go first? And either John or John, I'll go with you. What would you say?
All right. I think the biggest thing for people that are trying to get into like better shape is to take it easy. People look at these diets like the keto and everything like that, and they go like 100%. You know what I mean? They gotta get everything like that's gonna do what they want to do, and like they crash. You know what I mean? Like people say it's like these crash diets, but it's like you gotta take it easy. You're so used to a routine of how you're eating. You got to slowly transition into it. Like, I didn't get like this overnight. Like, I had to really slowly start doing something, going to the gym, maybe like once or twice a week, getting acclimated, getting used to it. And then like with eating, wanting to go to Dunkin' Donuts or Burger King or Wendy's and getting those juicy cheeseburgers and the soda. Like, you just start with like trying to get maybe like just chicken nuggets. You know what I mean? Not getting like the huge meal, cutting out the fries. Instead of getting a soda, get like an iced tea, and like just like slowly transitioning to it. Because if you try to go full force, I see it over and over again. People fail, people stop going because it's so much to take in at once.
Right. How about you, Eric? Same. What would you say where should I start at with dieting?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. There's so much information out there. Sometimes it could be overwhelming. Scientifically, you basically all weight losses, you're taking in less energy than you're burning, right? So theoretically, you don't really have. There's a lot of people that quote unquote eat healthy, but they're not, losing weight, and that's because your body. It's about the amount of food you're eating. So if you can somehow reduce the amount of food you're eating, even before counting calories and all that, just like John was saying, if you usually go to McDonald's every day, you get a burger. If you get a Big Mac or like the double quarter pound with cheese, trade that in for a small burger. That's you're eating less food. And then over time, you can add in, you can become more nuanced. You can count calories. You can do all that kind of stuff. You can add more protein. Some things that help my clients are just to eat, bigger meals when it comes to like greens and stuff. So those things have very low calories, a lot of nutrients, and can fill you up so that when you drive past McDonald's, you might crave it, but you're not really starving for it because those are two different things. And then just being consistent with that.
Right. Now, how much salt do you guys put into your diets? How much salt is there, and how much dressing do you put on? Is there an account for that? Is there, because I feel like, like I said, I for me personally, I could, like, I can't lose and I can't gain anywhere from 197 to 199. I'm stuck there. I want to lose weight. I could do I feel like I could run as much as I want. And all so forth, and I'm just stuck here. I want to, burn some more calories and all that. I don't know. Is it should I cut out the coffee in the morning? Should I start there? Where should I go from there?
I would say, I mean, like the biggest thing is I think a lot of people that they don't really focus on is breakfast. Like I always tell people the most important meal of the day is breakfast because it fuels your day. You know what I mean? So it doesn't come around lunchtime and you're starving because all you had was a coffee in the morning.
Yeah, right.
And like I tell people, oh, I gotta cut carbs. Yeah, and we as Americans, we consume an excess amount of carbs. But like carbs are our easiest way of energy. And we consume so much energy and we don't expand it. So what does it turn into? It turns into fat. All fat is unused energy. So like in the morning, like I do roofing. So I have a very like, higher labor job, but like I'll eat like a good breakfast in the morning and then make myself like a protein drink for like midday. I'll have like a little protein to go with it, but like I'll eat in the morning, carb up in the morning, and as the day goes on, I just start to cut out the carbs. So when you come home at night, like most people, they come home at night, what do? They have a big meal. What do they do after that big meal? They sit. They really don't do much. They sit, they stay, they play with their kids or they watch TV. And like at night, that's when you really should be like not eating as many carbs. Like I do a more of a high protein, low carb diet, more carbs in the morning. And as the day progresses, just start slowly cutting them out.
I'll tell you one thing. First of all, our man Bob Hartnett checking in. Hey Bob, good morning. He says good morning to the fellas. Listen, you guys make me not want to look at an ice cream sundae anymore. I'll tell you that much. And it sucks because I'm going to the Phillies game in a little while with my son. So I'm going to be sitting there surrounded with a peanut butter. Now they got down there a peanut butter jelly cheeseburger. And
oh my God.
Yes, and Joe, I think you can vouch this. The jelly though is jalapeno sauce, and but anyway, it's surrounded with things. And my belly is going to say go for it, and my mind should be saying just watch Bryce Harper. So so that's where I'm at. Yeah, I know, Bob. Thanks for building my confidence there, buddy.
Bob knows the gobbler. The gobbler's got to eat. You know what I mean?
The gobbler's got to eat. I mean, the gobbler will just throw down anything. Anyway, to you, Eric. So again, like the massive dining. Now, what's your drink? Should I cut down the caffeine? Should I turn the caffeine for orange juice? I mean, what do you think I should do?
So, I mean, a lot depends on your current situation. I know a lot of people eat not just because they're hungry. Most of the time we don't eat because we're hungry. Most of the time we eat because we're bored or we're stressed. And that's where a lot of those extra calories can come in. If you're not burning a lot of calories throughout the day, like John was saying, then your body's not going to use it. It's going to store it. A big tip that I give people is eat a lot more. So if you don't focus on anything else and you focused on increasing your protein intake with shakes, but even better with lean protein sources like chicken, lean ground beef, that's going to fill you up. Eating a lot of protein, I recommend 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight for most people. So just say if you're 190 pounds and you're getting 190 grams of protein of chicken, that's a lot of food. That's going to fill your stomach up. So a lot of times you won't feel that urge. You're not going to be really hungry most of the time if you're getting that much protein, and then everything else can kind of take care of itself. If you're just worried about weight loss, because the other thing is weight loss and fat loss are not necessarily the same thing.
That's right.
If you're focused on purely fat loss, then your diet has to be a lot more nuanced. But in the beginning, if you focus on just increasing your protein intake, then a lot of times the excess calorie intake will kind of take care of itself because you won't have enough room for it.
Okay. So, Joe, do you have any questions?
No, I mean, you pretty much summed it up. I mean, for me, my thing is this is very informative for me because for me, it's all diet. I mean, I wake up, I run. The first thing I do each morning is I run and I do push-ups and sit-ups. So I run 2 miles and I walk a mile and I sit there and I'm dripped in sweat. And then you brought up a point about how people eat when they're stressed. Well, I'm going through a lot right now. Like, like lately, I'm going through a divorce, and, I've had a lot of stress. And so my diet has been like crap, and it frustrates me because, I go to all the trouble of running and working out, and I'm sweating my balls off. And then but then at lunchtime, somebody will be like, "Oh, we're getting a hoagie for lunch," and then I'm eating something that's bad for you. You know what I mean? So for me, it really is all about discipline. That's the only time in my life I ever lose weight is when I eat right. So what I'm grasping from you guys is it seems like that's the number one thing is the diet.
Yeah, I hate when people say diet. I say a healthier lifestyle.
Gotcha.
I feel like diet has like a bad connotation to it. Because you're like, oh, I got to go on a diet. You know what I mean? Like, and they're dreading it. You said about like the hoagies at lunch. Like one thing, like my friends like joke with me about, which is weird. Like if we go out and like I get a hoagie or something, like I'll start peeling off the pieces of bread. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And you start eating the meat, even though the meat's processed and it has salt, which makes you retain water. Like I'm taking the carbs off and just eating the meat or whatever, like the lettuce and tomatoes in it. So like I'm slowly trying to change that eating habit of not eating as many carbs.
Gotcha. Okay.
And another thing, it might help you to have an actual plan. So if you have a plan, if you're just trying to wing it, and it's like, and so what you're doing right now is, it seems like you're trying to do something, right? Which is good.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't really have a plan. It doesn't seem like you have a goal. Your goal is like a general goal of being healthier. But that's equivalent to getting in it, like calling an Uber driver and getting in the back and saying, okay. And the Uber driver is like, where you want to go? And you'd be like, I don't know. And he's like, well, I can't, I can't take you to anywhere if you don't have a destination. So my first thing for you would be to solidify a goal, whatever that is, whether it's a weight loss goal, maybe it's a more activity goal. You want to run more during the day. The one thing I will say about activity is, number one, your body can adjust to cardio fairly quickly. So if you're not pushing yourself and to extend how long you're running, your body can actually burn less calories, become more efficient at it. So you're just burning less calories.
Gotcha.
And at the same time, it probably doesn't burn as many calories as most people think, even though it's very hard. So the bulk of your weight loss should come from your diet, and then any activity on top of that will kind of add to it.
Wow, like I said, that's nice. Like I said, and I'm with you guys because, like I said, sometimes you're running for a bit, and you say you don't have your destination goal. It's just like you're running, but you're really not. What is it? What is it to your goal? Like you don't have a steady plan. It's just like it's really not going to go anywhere. And then I'm like Joe. I could work out. Do all the running, and it's some like the other day, a coworker of mine. You're sitting there and speak to the labor. I'm just sitting there, shoveling, fixing potholes and whatnot. And then I see a coworker of mine bring an ice cream cake. I'm like, bring that over here. And it's just like, I just did all that for what, you pretty much did all that running and all that stuff, and you just threw it out the window. And like I said, that could be trouble with me. And when you work with guys who are big and that's all they like to do, it's just like you pretty much now put yourself with the wolves, instead of trying to be the lion, you're putting yourselves with the rest of the wolves, and you're going to look like, well, I should. And at PennDOT, there's no wolves, there's pigs, and so unfortunately, I try and discipline my mind. I tell myself I'm going to eat less. I'm going to just do a couple of yogurts, bananas, and so like John was saying, my breakfast, I try and keep a healthier breakfast instead of eating. Because if I see a bowl, if the kids bring in a bowl of Fruity Pebbles here, forget that box is mine. I'm calling Clemson. I'll do it in a day. But I try to subtract that for maybe a couple bananas, and leave it at that. And maybe Sunny D over the orange juice or over the coffee, stuff like that. So, but like I said, the dieting is most important. And I actually was. A buddy of mine I used to do some bodybuilding work, and he sums up. It's actually to get in great shape. It's like 70% of it is you're eating, and 30% is actually you're working out. Now, if you guys would have tested that, you guys can. So
I disagree with that. I currently disagree with that. I used to believe that, but this is what I would say: to lose weight, if your goal is just to see the scale number come down, I would say it'd be about 80 to maybe 90% nutrition. Like
Mm-hmm.
you just have to eat less food. And theoretically, you could eat if somebody's eating 4,000 calories a day and maintaining their weight, and they drop that down to 3,000, but those 3,000 calories came from hamburgers and French fries, you would still lose weight, but you wouldn't be in great shape.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to be in great shape, and depending, you can be in great shape as a marathoner, you can be in great shape as a CrossFitter or a bodybuilder. Those are 3 different types of body types.
Yeah.
But when it comes, I would just say speak to bodybuilding because that's what I do. Then the exercise and the lifting takes a lot bigger role because now you're sending signals to your brain to adapt your body in a certain way. That you're adapting your body to building muscle in certain places, and then you're eating a certain portion of protein, carbohydrates, and fats to support those adaptations. So that's why I say with weight loss and being in great shape are 2 different things.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't say now, like I said, if you want to just lose weight, you can absolutely just eat less food. But if you would like to have a certain body type, then you might have to adjust based on what that body type looks like.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know what's funny? My Uncle Paul, he had me laughing laughing so hard one time because I was like, yeah, man, I was like, I'm gonna drop some weight, and I was, and I did, I lost like 20 pounds or whatever in a couple months, and I was just really killing it. And he's like, dude, he's like, you don't have to go. He's like, you know what you do? He's like, go to the supermarket. He's like, the aisles you've been going down. He's like, go down the other aisles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't buy it, you can't eat it.
Yeah, right.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
That's actually a habit hack. We make it so easy to cheat, eat bad food. We make it so easy on ourselves. So if we at least make it harder to eat bad foods and easier to eat better foods, then you put yourself in a better position. If I have to drive 20 minutes to McDonald's where I have, chicken and, broccoli right here, more likely than not, I'm going to eat the chicken and broccoli. But,
Right.
if I have a bunch of ice cream in the refrigerator and I have a craving and it's right there, then it's, then you're not putting yourself in a great position.
No, I'm telling you, it's like I said, you just said, Eric, it's just, and Joe mentioned it earlier, again, I could be dining and feeling great, and it only take a split second. Someone go, hey, anybody want to make a Burger King run? I'm like, and right away, I tell myself, no. And it's like the foreman, he doesn't know because he's got a big gut, and he goes, oh, yeah, well, just, if you're treating, I'll mind. So I'm like, oh, come on, man. He's like, oh, and then they give you, come on. He's like, what's one burger going to do?
The other thing with that is people are not going to, trust me, people are not going to respect your goals. And to a greater extent, some people might feel secretly self-conscious because what you're saying now is what you're eating, I'm going to eat better than that. So what you're eating is shit. That's how they interpret it.
Yeah.
So subconsciously, they kind of feel bad about it. I've dealt with it my whole life. I'm sure John's dealt with it.
Oh, yeah.
A great thing is preparation. If you already have food there that you're going to eat, that makes it a little easier. It's not. I'm not telling you it's ever going to be just easy to say no to a burger or pizza. But if you already have food there, at least you have, that goes back to the plan and preparation. Whereas you don't have anything and you need to eat, and it's just easier to get something. Again, you have to make it easier for yourself to eat better. And part of that is having a plan. The other part is being prepared.
Yeah, he's right on that. Like I do roofing in Philly, in South Philly. And I work with guys that at lunchtime or after work, they're like, oh, let's go to Pat's, let's go to Phillips, let's go to Nick's Roast Beef, let's go here. And they want to get the cheesesteaks and the cheese fries and the cherry Coke. And I bring stuff. I'm the only guy in my crew that brings a lunch bag and brings the healthy food to fill me up during the day. So I'm grabbing and eating.
John, you're like a guy who holds a cross to a bunch of vampires. That's not gonna fly.
Listen, like you said, it's some days it's hard. Sometimes I give in and eat the cheesesteak, but 90% of the time I'm already eating. I'm full, so I don't partake. That's the key to be preventative of trying to eat healthier and not always indulge in those cheesesteaks or like the Burger King.
Yeah,
And
good.
I'd also say it's the hardest part is when you're first starting out because you're just
Hmm.
you're trying to trust a principle that you haven't seen work for you yet. So you're sitting
Right.
there, you're trusting it, you're be like, all right, this is supposed to be working. But once you see your first set of definition, once you see that weight loss, once you see the scale going down, once you see your mile time, going down, once you see those principles becoming real, that's when I would say, quote unquote, your motivation will go up, your desire will go up because it's like what
Right.
I'm doing, I'm not wasting time. It's actually, benefiting me. That time between, I call it the void, the time between you make the sacrifice to not do something in order to get something later. The time in between is that void where I don't have anything. So you just have to, trust the process. And it's easier for somebody who's already been through the process. But if it's your first time, it can be a scary time because it's like I'm giving up this stuff and I don't have anything yet. But it's just a later on investment that you kind of just got to trust.
Yeah, we can't say be trusting the process here because that'll mean multiple
Well,
times.
yeah, I know.
That's
I
for a
know,
difference.
I
No,
know,
I'm kidding.
I
I'm
know.
kidding. No, but like I said, it's no, Eric, you're out in Montgomery County too, right? With
Yeah,
with
current.
up here.
Right now I'm in Philly actually. I'm in Roxborough.
Okay, so like I said, from you guys would all know, Joe. I know there's fat daddies up here.
Yeah,
There's
I'm across the street. Yeah, I used to work across the street. I used to work at the Edge, right in the right across from
okay,
Fat Daddy,
yes,
and I'm right
yes.
down the street from Delisandro's
Oh,
and Chubby's.
oh my
Oh
gosh.
man.
Yeah,
I don't know. God bless you because I don't know how you do it. Because if I
I
saw
don't go down there.
Dalsandros,
I don't even
you're
go
right.
down there.
Just don't go. That's it.
Yeah,
Don't even go.
I would be like a moth to a light. You know what I mean? To electric
Mhm.
light. You know what I mean? I would just go in there just to get zapped. Because you said you got Dalsandros there. You got Fat Daddy's here, and it's like I said, like if you go to Plymouth Meeting Mall, you got the Chinese restaurant, and then they got a Subway, which is
Chick-fil-A.
probably Chick-fil-A, and then they got the pizza
Mhm.
joint, and then not only is it a pizza joint, but they got the special a cheesesteak pizza. I'm like, oh come on, that's nuts.
Well,
And
that's the other thing about bodybuilding to learn to rely on yourself. They're
yes,
not going to help you. Like the
no,
environment
no,
will not help you. You have to
no.
assume that your environment is going to be counterintuitive to your goal wherever you go. That's why you have to always relearn. Like if I step out of my house without healthy food, there will be no options. That's how you have to think.
No,
Oh.
let me ask you guys a question. What do you guys think about all these energy drinks? The Rock just made a new energy drink, I think, or he's sponsoring one. But what do you guys think about these? I mean, you've seen they're all bad for you. But what do you think? Is there a good to it? Like, okay, maybe I'll take a Red Bull to get, or a, to get myself all worked up. And you see guys, wanting to do that, and then again, like you said, and the end game is it gets you nowhere. But what do you guys take on these energy drinks? Or like I said, The Rock has one that's he's sponsoring it. Should you partake in that too for a workout?
I actually had an issue with them, because I do so much work. I was drinking them in the morning, afternoon, and night, and it's a lot of caffeine, and,
Right.
and it's very draining, and actually it was like hindering my workouts. I started cramping up, and like the best thing that I learned was to drink more water, and a lot of people, they hate drinking water. You know what I
Yes.
mean? We love flavor.
Yes.
And I would say get those little squirt, like, pod things to add flavor to the water, because you know what? It helps with the flow and digestion of your food and helping it go through everything and like, process it easier. And like water is so much better, but it was such a hard transition for me to go from drinking energy drinks all day, because they're fueling my day, to switch to more water. Now listen, I still drink an energy drink in the morning, and I got my vices, but at night I try to maybe get like a 12-ounce coffee, just if I feel a little sluggish.
Right. And okay, here goes our man Sean Kilrain. What's up, guys? I'm 242 pounds. All the gut in the form is athletic. I'm a big snacker. Any suggestions for a subtitle? Want to get back to 200 pounds.
So
So he's got a big problem snacking.
So I would say, first of all, to get back to the energy drinks, it really depends on if you have a like obviously if you have a heart issue, don't take any extra caffeine. Scientifically, there's really no, you know, nothing bad that's going to happen from taking too much caffeine. However, it might make you feel like crap.
Mhm.
I do pre-workout and I try to limit how much caffeine I have just for the sake of if I have too much, it makes me feel like I'm on crack. So, also with the biggest thing, if your biggest thing is a lack of energy, sleep is the number one thing. Sleep.
Yes.
If you
Yes.
are sleeping enough or just more, if you get more sleep, you will feel 10 times better.
I
To
agree with
answer
that.
to answer Sean's question, I mean, I guess we will need more information, but the easy thing is to cut snacks and to eat more filling foods. I mean, just off the information he gave us, because if you're snacking, you know, he might be bored, he might be you know, hungry.
Mhm.
If you're, I mean, that's one thing, you eat less food. So if you ate everything else the same and cut out your snacks, you would lose some weight. Um, Increase your protein at your main meals and see if that helps.
So I got two. I got two questions here. So one, how? Okay, okay, like preferably, like I said, all right, I'm not going to eat after 6 p.m. Anything after 6 p.m. I can't eat because, you know, like you said, if I eat, I can eat a dinner before I go to bed, and then obviously, you know, you reap what you sow. You eat eat tons of food right before you go to bed, and then you wake up. You know, you're not thrilled with it. So, what's your cutoff time for eating? And two, what do you think about protein bars? And what do you guys see like these bodybuilder protein bars you see in Wawa and all that stuff? Should I go? I'm like, you know what? You know, maybe I should start. You know, maybe like first, you know, for like a guy like Sean saying, let me substitute, you know, a bag of Pringles or a Kit Kat bar for a protein bar.
I got
What-
one
what's your guys'
smaller
take
than
on
this. It probably wouldn't hold deers, you know.
Got it.
Okay. So one I would say, it doesn't matter the timing of what you eat. It matters your total calories throughout the day and really throughout the week. Because even, you know, we track calories on a daily basis just so we can keep track of it. But when you think about the processes in your body doesn't automatically reset at 12 a.m. You know, it's more complicated than that. So it's more so about your total calorie intake throughout the day versus how much energy you're burning. Now, I will say, for a lot of people, it will affect your digestion, so you might not be able to sleep as well. But when it comes to actual weight loss, it doesn't really matter. What was your other question? Oh,
No.
protein bars. Protein bars.
Yes.
So protein bars, I mean, there's a huge range of protein bars. There's ones that are lower calorie, they have a good amount of protein, but a lot of them have also a lot of fats and a lot of sugars and a lot of carbohydrates, which aren't bad in and of themselves, but they're going to add a lot of total calories to your lifestyle. So I try not to say diet there because Josh said don't say diet. but so what I would say is, if you have a calorie goal for the day, right? And then you're eating a certain amount of protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Those are that's like your account. So it's like, after I spend this account, I can't spend any more. So what you can do is, you know how much, once you calculate how many calories, protein, and fats you're going to have through the day, then you can honestly fit anything in there. You can say, okay, I have 50 grams of each thing left. If that protein bar fits into that, then I can have it. Or not. Now, more times than not, it's better just to get more protein anyway. Even, you know, if you're just starting out, I would just say get a protein, just to get in the habit of getting more protein. Just like John was saying, start out small. If that's for you, that's better than getting a Snickers or something else. By all means, then start with that.
Oh yeah, definitely better than a Snickers.
Yeah, right. You know, so like I said, I've been, you know, sometimes when I get through a workout or I'm, you know, about to start a workout, but I kind of need the energy. I'm like, oh, let me I could get that. Maybe I can, you know, feel something there. And what's your guys' take on protein shakes? What's your guys' take on protein shakes? Are they really good for you? Do they weigh like? Do they really help you, you know, get to where you want to get to after a fresh workout? What's your take on protein shakes?
I mean, I like the protein shakes. I do it after my workout, just to get the protein in quicker than food. Food's always great, but for your digestive system, anything liquid is gonna go through your body a lot faster. Like even at night, like I tell people like they have trouble with like eating at night. I always recommend just like getting a low calorie protein powder and drinking that with like a skim or 2% milk, and it's going to fill you up, but your body doesn't have to take as long to process it, so it can go through your system a lot quicker than if you try to eat something at night. And it's filling, so when you wake up the next morning, that fluid's already through and you're already hungry as soon as you wake up, which your body's ready to consume the calories that you need for that next day.
Right. And like I said, again, Eric, what's your take on the protein shakes too?
I agree. It's just more convenient, like I said, to eat. If you had 200 grams of protein to eat during the day, and you can do 100 grams of that in just shakes, or protein, would be so much easier to digest, because eating that much in food and chicken, and it's a lot of food, which is good for somebody who's trying to lose weight, but bodybuilders, you're trying to put on muscle too. So if you get to a point where now I'm trying to put on muscle and I have a lot of food to eat, shakes are just convenient. Also, it's convenient when it's like if you're in a pinch, you can put a couple scoops in a Ziploc bag and throw it in a shake. It's portable. You can bring it anywhere. For me today, I had to rush to work. I just bought my tub of protein in my lunch bag, so I'm just going to scoop throughout the day. It's just very easy. It's just more convenient. Like John was saying, it digests a lot quicker. So it's not sitting on your stomach all day. So for somebody like a roofer like John, I'm sure he doesn't like to eat a big meal and have that sit on the stomach while he's trying to do stuff. So it's very, very convenient. Just like the protein bars, there are a wide variety. They're lower calorie ones. There's meal replacements when it's meant to replace an entire meal and it has higher calories. But overall, it's just more convenient. However, it is not anything magical. I will say that. It's just more convenient.
Yeah, it's a supplement. It's supposed to supplement what you can't get during your regular day.
Right.
Would you guys recommend? I know a lot of people on their phones, they have like a MyFitnessPal app, and that way you keep track of your calories and stuff. I'm assuming. Would you guys recommend doing something like that?
Yeah, because it's easy for my clients. It's a big eye opener. Because I would say 90% of the people who, I would say this, 90% of the people who want to lose weight don't think they eat that much food. So they'll say, I really don't eat that much. I eat healthy. So then when they actually start tracking and see how many calories are in the foods they're eating, they're like, crap, my calories are already done. So it's not that they don't eat that much food. They don't realize how many calories are packed in the things that don't fill them up. So I can go to McDonald's and eat a double quarter pounder with cheese, and in 2 hours, I'm hungry again. And that's a lot of calories.
Yeah.
So if you do that day in and day out, I mean, you can easily get to 3,000, 4,000 calories easy. So tracking calories, again, is nothing magical. But once you see, just like if you were trying to save money and you were saying, well, I don't really spend that much money, and your accountant shows you paid for this, you paid for this, that stuff adds up. So to have a visual of what you're actually currently eating versus what you need to eat to lose weight, that's a powerful tool.
Right, and you probably do. And both of you guys come across guys with high blood pressure, guys who can't, cut back on the caffeine, or sometimes, again, it's just like, whatever. Like, we could be hanging out, me and Joe. Then you're hanging out, and then you see, your buddy's like, oh yeah, come grab the Miller Lite with us. We're just going to go out for a few drinks, and that can, I see guys, put weight on just because of the booze and I mean, so that really hurts people too as well. So it's just like I try, like I said, to me, I feel like kryptonite. Like I'll eat a sandwich, it's like, man, and they could just be one sandwich that you have, and it's just like then that bread, it's not just the bread, the salt around it, the hoagie and all that stuff. It's just like, and they're like, oh, well, have some Scrabble with it. Have a Scrabble sandwich. I'm like, oh, guys. And but you guys did bring up breakfast, how important it is. Like, what would you recommend? Do you go egg whites? Do you go regular scrambled eggs? Do you guys go oatmeal? What do you guys prefer as a nice healthy breakfast? Eric, I'll start with you.
So if your goal is to be, you know, a nice, nutritious, filling breakfast,
Yeah.
definitely oatmeal. Oatmeal's a staple. You can't really beat it. You can put whatever you want. You can put fruit in it. It's fairly easy to make. So you always want to have a balanced meal, so you'll have your protein with that. Unless you're really trying to cut back on fats or specifically, I would do whole eggs. Because
Okay.
studies have shown that your body can absorb the protein from whole eggs better than egg whites. I don't know why
Oh,
that is,
really?
but yeah, I don't know why that is, but studies have shown that. Now, when I do a competition and I don't eat that much fat, then I just do egg whites just because that's what it is.
Right.
But if you don't have those restrictions, I would do whole egg. So a whole egg, oatmeal. I mean, you could do like a turkey bacon. Turkey bacon's great because it's very low calories and it has flavor.
Right.
And then you can jazz up your oatmeal with stuff like cinnamon, nutmeg, blueberries, things that can kind of fill you up, especially fruit. That's not a lot of calories at all.
Right. Not loaded up with sugar. Because I know some people put oatmeal, put some sugar in oatmeal. You feel like you're having a Red Bull
Yeah.
oatmeal.
Yeah.
So and you're ready. You know, you're like, I don't need to drink any energy drink. I got this bowl of oatmeal.
Right.
But
Yeah,
like I
Pat,
said,
you brought up the drinking. I mean, I think that's one of the that's the biggest downfall for a lot of people. I mean, I know especially with the COVID. I mean, they had the funny memes where they showed like the AA meetings of a whole stadium. You know, like people just doing 12-ounce curls like crazy.
yeah, and you're right. The Canadian crunchers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed like a lot of cats were guiding themselves into that. And like I said, though, it's unique. Like like you said, I was talking to Johnny. He just didn't do any. He got himself into working out, and which I think is a blessing because, like I said, to me, I said that's awesome. If you get yourself, away from that and put yourself into a positive respect, and I get, like you said, you guys were talking, like a lot of guys are going through stress or not working, or their office is the refrigerator and so forth. Where they're just they're not really getting around, walking around an office if you have an office job or so forth. They just their living is literally going to be the refrigerator. I mean, heck, I I had a boss who lied and said he was on vacation down the shore, and there he is just eating away. But like I said, one of the thing is, like I told the guys, I got them one of the most seniority. I had like the top seniority at my job, and I told the guys under me, I said, no, you guys can drive. I'll labor because I see you get that PennDOT 80, you get 80 pounds in 3 days. It's easy with these guys, man. And like I said, I prefer fixing potholes, doing pipe jobs because to me, I gotta stay active because if I don't, I'm gonna look like that. And I try not to do that. I mean, before I got with PennDOT, I was over road truck driving, and a lot of guys and like my trainer we're parking all the way in the back, and he was a guy he wasn't in shape, muscle wise, but he was kept himself healthy, and he parked all the way to the back. I said, "Why are we parking all the way to the back?" He's like, "You see that walking out that truck?" He's like, "We're not going to get that belly. We're parking all the way to the back." And I said, "Enough said," because there's guys at my job, they can't even see their toes, and that's bad. I mean, so like I said, that's like again me. Got this clicking and getting this podcast get together because I'm hopefully this catch a voice and change somebody around. Maybe someone needs to hear this. Like John Lee, a guy on our show anyway. Who can't see his toes. No, but
yeah, you don't want to have that dick. You don't want to have that Dicky do disease. You know what I'm saying?
John Lee's a good friend of ours, but trust me, he if someone needs to listen to this podcast, he needs to listen to it. But like I said, what's your take on, like you say, going to sleep at 7 o'clock? Do you guys go for a protein shake if you got the? Oh, you said it doesn't really matter, but I would. What do you go about if you got a craving to? Like, do you get a salad? Do you have anything specific? Like, do you guys change that up? Like, oh man, I really like to go for the salad, but you know what? I'll go for a salad or something.
Honestly, I have drinks. You know what I mean? I swear, like sometimes it's just easier to have like a drink. It's just changing the habit of wanting to go to get the sweets,
Right.
and not wanting them, and like finding something that tastes good, that's healthier, and just buying that, like even like a protein bar or like just something like a healthier snack, and just like go for that and not have those Oreos there, because it's always so tempting. Even for me, you sometimes
Yeah.
you wake up, you're on the sofa, and you wake up, you go to bed, and you want to walk to the fridge, and you're just craving that sweets. It's just making a conscious decision, you know,
Yes, and
like
making the right ones.
yeah, like being overweight is hard. Living a healthier lifestyle is hard. Which
Yeah.
hard do you want to choose? That's what it comes down to. And I
Right.
got like I had the opposite problem. I was skinny. You know, I was very skinny my whole life. Like
Right.
and like I didn't want to feel like that anymore. And you get to a point, like everyone gets to a point.
Yeah.
Whatever your point is, at that point, you got to make it the conscious decision of changing it and sticking with it, even when sometimes you don't feel like you're seeing the results.
Yeah. Guys, give me about 2 minutes, Joe. Run me back in. Continue the convo. Because I got to put my little mate. He's about to crash out on the floor. I want to put him in his crib. So give me about not even give me about 60 seconds. But yeah, I like to know from you guys too. All right, so we're talking about dining and eating right. How intense should um how can I put this? Eating the right foods. What do you guys take as a lunch? Like you said, you guys were talking about eating, bring your own meals and all that stuff. And where we have the problem of like me and Joe, we talked about earlier, Del Sandro's and the guy, and your boss wants to treat you out to a nice long, for instance, the other day I got treat. Eric, I know you can those too. Eric, do you know Anna's Deli off the Township Line Road here in Norristown?
Mhm.
So they got the 14-inch hot dogs. It's just like, and the boss is like, well, I'll treat you to one, and I'm like, oh man, no, please. And he's like, no, I can't just give you a regular hot dog. He's got to get you the max. And so it's like, come on. He's like, he's like, come on, just eat a little bit. And it's like you find yourself eating the whole thing. I'm like, that just goes right out the window, man. So, but like I said, today I'm going to be at the ballpark. I'm going to be surrounded by food that are not good for you. Should I go for a hot dog? Should I just limit? What should I eat at a ballpark, at a stadium?
I haven't been to Citizen Bank Park in a while, but I'm sure they don't have many great options.
No.
But I'll say this. One meal is not going to make or break anything.
Right.
So I would say this. I would enjoy your day today.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get home, maybe today or tomorrow, formulate a plan. Because
Right.
not eating a hot dog or ice cream today is not going to automatically,
Right.
get you there tomorrow anyway. So I would enjoy today with no guilt. Because the other thing is, once you get consistent in your goals and you're where you want to be and you're closer to where you want to be, you can have some things every once in a while. It's not all about restriction and all chicken breast and broccoli all the time. Then you will have the luxury of eating something. But I find that getting everything else in order, I forget there's an actual principle. It's like when you buy a really nice, just say you have a house, you buy a really nice, just say coffee table or flat screen TV. Once you have that TV in there, you're like, well, now my couch, I need a better couch because I got this nice TV, and then all of a sudden you're buying a new coffee table to match the couch. So if you start consistently, just say working out, and you're working really hard, then you should say, well, I'm working really hard now. I got to eat better, to match my dieting. So, and it could build up like that. I wouldn't worry about it too much today until you have a plan.
Right, and that's like I said, that's why I appreciate having you guys on, because you guys are both in great shape. You guys, know what you're talking about. Like I mentioned earlier, the only shape me and Joe know are circle. So, but like I said, to me, it's like I said, just getting yourself in the right frame of mind and all that stuff, and trying to eat right and trying to look great and all that stuff. Because, like I said, you do want that. Because, like I said, at the end of the day, though, you're eating like a slob. It's not good for your heart, and all that stuff. So, like I said, you want to maintain that nice, healthy diet and stay strong. Like I said, you guys, if we're talking about a healthy team, you guys would be the stars, and me and Joe would need men's restrictions. Because
listen, it took a very long time to get to this. A lot of ups and downs,
Yes.
A lot of failures.
Yeah, and it's so funny you say that, because I know we'll dive in more into this next week. Me and my brother went to a gym, and my brother's just like, he's big, he's in great shape. So my brother right away goes, throw 275 pounds on this bar. I'm like, what? like, yeah, throw 275 pounds on. He's like, he's like, so right away, the only thing that moved was his feet, not the bar, his feet. So I said, Chuck, a guy like that, it takes him a while. And, I brought one of my older buddies into the gym, and I
guarantee you, even that guy that could do it is not like you have the proper warm up. That's just a recipe to hurt yourself. There's no reason.
Yes, yes. And like I had a buddy of mine, an older guy, and he's like, he saw a buddy of mine my age, and he's working at it, and he was just doing shoulder shrugs, and he's like, he's like, I'm going to compete with this guy, and there's no way. Again, he couldn't even get the weight off. The only thing was movement. It was his back. He wasn't getting the weight off. He was just so frustrated. I was like, dude, yes, like let's again, get back to the diet. Let's eat right first, and then I said, and then then we'll talk about the pump and iron. But man, it's just like I try and be an influence. Like I said, having you guys on, it could be an influence to these guys because they're eating the wrong things. They're taking blood pressure medicines and all this other stuff. And then it's like, man, like I'd say to myself, I don't want to have those problems later down the road. I got young ones I want to see healthy and grow and all that stuff. So I try to maintain a healthy. I mean, like I said, they call me the gobbler, and there's a reason why. I mean, I can give. I mean, Thanksgiving plates, they don't walk out like this. They're mac and cheese and turkey and listen, I had Wawa mac and cheese, which I had this much insert. But when I got my wife and made soul food mac and cheese, that those plates around like that, and 5-layer cheeses, you can really do. I could do some damage, especially at a buffet table. So. But like I said, man, Joe, do you have anything for as far as dieting, as far as you want to eat, drink, if you go out at night and all that stuff, what should you be eating and stuff like that? I guess like at a Buffalo Wild Wings.
No, I mean, I was going to say, these guys pretty much, broke it down. I mean, basically it's like it's just a lifestyle, you know what I mean? It's a lifestyle change. Like the thing that I grasped from these guys was, basically, what I'm going to do is that instead of being tempted to eat the bad lunches, I'm going to, like, for instance, today I'm gonna pre-plan my meals from like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so that way I have a healthy plan. Because what I'm grasping from you guys is basically you guys plan out your meals, and that's what I don't. I don't have a plan. I wake up and
I'm with you.
I wake up and I run. I get all the working out and all that stuff down, but then I eat like bad. So I have to have a plan because otherwise I'm playing. I'm just playing with myself. You know what I mean? It's not working.
Same, and like it's funny because like when I meet people for the first time and I get to talk to them, I'm like, and then it's like, I was a wrestler. Like, you're a wrestler. Really? You like that? I'm like, yeah, believe it or not. So I got to pull out the wrestling pictures, and it's embarrassing when you have to pull out wrestling pictures from like 10 years ago. I'm like, yeah, this was me. It's just like, no, that's not you. I'm like, is that a fake picture? I'm like, is that your head glued to someone else's body? I'm like, no, that's actually my head. So like I said, I would like for myself to get in better shape and now I got the dad bod. So like I said, I like today, like a day like today, I would love to go, jog and do some cardio and just to burn off and just to relax. But like
lift weights, man, lift. That's going to be the best thing because when you're just doing cardio, all you're really doing is burning excess energy, and your body gets used to that very quickly. As opposed to, this is my main philosophy. My main philosophy is using exercise to build muscle and to get stronger, and using your diet to lose the fat. So don't try to, if you're trying to use exercise to lose the fat, it's so hard because number one, there's nothing to really track that we have that can accurately track how many calories you're burning. So you're kind of just shooting in the dark. So you're just trying to go longer and harder, and you're just trying to kill yourself rather than building muscle that actually looks good. That's going to change the shape of your body. And then once you burn the fat, then you're going to actually be, because I have a lot of people who say they want to lose a certain amount of weight and they think they're going to look a certain way, and they lose the weight. They have no muscle mass, so they're not really happy with how they look. So I would say lift relatively heavy weights. I mean, heavy for you. Get to like the 6 to 12 range. Use good form. Eat protein. Just start with that. Just starting with that that's a good start.
It's funny. I know why I laughed, Eric, is because, like you said, you're talking about guys who are trying to track their steps. You got guys with these Fitbits. And they're like, I walked 2,000 feet. I'm like, dude, you just literally went from your TV to your couch, and you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
They're not that accurate.
No, not by a long shot. But look, guys, we're just about to wrap up the pod here. So, like I said, I want to thank you guys for hopping on. You know, like I said, it's good to know guys like you guys. Like I said, I know John, I know you since we were kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know Eric, I know you for some years through Gus. And like I said, me and Gus are a bad influence with each other when it comes to food.
Gus is the worst. Gus,
Yeah.
I'd be trying to go out and I tell him I'm gonna die. He didn't care. He ordered shots.
Yeah, Gus is that's against his religion is dieting.
It is.
And like I said, me and him do each other no favors. Like back in high school, me and Gus used to hang at my house. We watch Monday Night Raw. Me, him, and my brother. We would get Elio pizza, ice cream, and then the next day you're paying the piper on the toilet. You might as well call Road because you're going to have some problems. So like I said, me and Gus did, we were doing each other no favors. And he comes, and him, he comes from a house that can cook. And me being it, and you guys don't know me. Yeah, he could cook. And me coming from an Italian family, that's all we do. So, I mean, me and him did each other no favors. Chocolate milk in the morning and eat like 2 slops. And we had just no guilt about just enjoying our big bellies. But like I said, now you're getting older and you have to start eating right. You have to start taking care of your body because that starts affecting the heart. And that's why, with truck drivers, we have these things called the medical card, because if you're high blood pressure or nothing, they're going to pull you over and they're not going to want you to drive because obviously your conditioning, they have to track your heart. Right. And so like guys are grandfathered in. Like we have one guy, he said, could you imagine seeing me on a medical card? I would lose the job. And, he can't even see his toes. And that's like I said, but that's a couple of guys I work with. But anyways, I want to thank you guys because I am going to eat right. I'm going to try, like I said, try to get things in the right form. And like I said, that's why I brought you guys on, because people do need to hear this, and people got to need to hear about eating right. And like I said, next week we'll talk about some getting working out, and maybe we can start with legs, because I got these chicken legs I got.
I love legs. I just did leg day today. It's one of my favorite days of the week.
Listen, John, me, quick story. Me and my brother, he's like, we used to do leg lunges. I used to be crazy with leg lunges. I would do leg lunges. I would love to, just do a whole thing of leg lunges. And me and my brother Chuck would do it. And then like I'm up the steps already, getting ready to wrap up the day. My man is literally crawling up the steps he couldn't walk because leg lunges tore him up. So yeah, like I said, maybe we'll get in some leg lunges because, and I would ask you guys probably heard this. The legs make your upper body. I don't know. You guys can speak about that. If you guys heard that saying before,
it's not true. It's not true.
No.
So what they used to think that because doing legs, those are the biggest muscles in your body, and it jacks up your testosterone and your growth hormone. But the thing is, everything in your body is very, very complicated. So even though it does jack those hormones up, those hormones are not participating in extra muscle building. You have to grow. You have to work out what you want to work out in order to grow, unfortunately.
Right. So it doesn't, just working all of it pretty much. So like I said, we're just about out of time here, but go like John, Eric, Joe, thanks again. We'll dive in this next week. And we'll have fun with this. And this is a great new pod. And like I said, I just trying to change the hearts of people that can really need this right now. And like I said, there's a million, you guys know, there's a million food that's not good for you. That's why I want to start with the dieting. And you see, we had a comment about our buddy Sean talking about eating, he likes to snack a lot. And I know a cat, first thing in the morning, after, we check out our trucks at PennDOT, the first thing you do is you stop at a Wawa or Royal Farms. And the first thing these guys are doing is loading up on Doritos and Cheetos and
Royal Farms has that fried chicken Texas toast sandwich.
That sucks me in right there. I'm like, I'll walk over here to the just go grab a cranberry juice and man, once I smell that chicken, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Yeah. I'm sucked in like a mosquito. But look, guys, again, thank you so much. It's been a great show. We'll continue this next week. And for everyone who checked in, watching, listening, thank you so much. We've been live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Twitter, It's going to be. I'm going to make a reel of this on Instagram, so it's going to, and I'll send the reel to a clip of this to Gus, and he'll put it on TikTok. So it's going to be all over social media in minutes.
Cool.
So guys, I just want to thank you for this great show, and again, we'll get back to this next week. So guys, have a great afternoon.
Yeah, it was
guys,
fun,
now,
guys.
and I'll watch what I look at the Phillies game, other than Bryce Harper. So
All right, man.
even the peanuts. So guys, have a great day.
You
All right,
too.
man.
have a good one,
Appreciate it.
fellas.
You too, man.